Sebastian Buemi in the Nissan. Very nice move from the yellow flag at turns 2 and 3, so we'll try and work out who that is, but Buemi is up into 6th place, Van Dorn down to 7th. Still the two black and gold DS Cheetahs are leading the way, and the safety car is deployed. Safety car is deployed, and there's a wheel off, and it's Oliver Rowland who has dropped to the back of the field, and the safety car is deployed. Scott Elkins in the bottom right deploying the safety car, and that will bunch everybody back up together. Now, the time spent behind the safety car, some of it will get added on to the end of the race as well, so depending on how long the safety car is out for. But Rowland is off at turn 3, Vernon da Costa first and second, Evans third, Mortara fourth, Dennis fifth. And Buemi, Van Dorn, Verline, Lotterer and Nick de Vries the top 10, as we are under safety car conditions here in the Jakarta E-Prix after, and there is Rowland climbing out of the car, and he's frustrated with that as well, you might expect. And that is the end of Rowland's race.
And the cars are already behind the wall, so I don't think this safety car will last too much longer. Just looking at how close some of the cars are running, we keep talking about temperature, it's also battery temperature. And it's really important that drivers get as much cooling into the car as possible, so they can keep the battery cool. That's going to allow them to regenerate or put more energy back into the battery as the race goes on. But if you look at da Costa, he's so close to Jean-Eric Vergne, it's going to choke off his radiators a little bit.
So what's happened there to Rowland? Is it the front left? Yeah, it looks like the front left that's missing, but it doesn't look like there's any other damage.
Normally when you see an accident like that, the wishbones that hold the corner on come off as well. It looks like the wheels just come off.
And some of the safety car will be in this lap then, so we'll get racing back underway pretty quickly. Let's have a look at the start again. The two DS Cheetahs, it was a much cleaner start for Evans, but just had the outside line.
Yeah, and I think Evans, the cars on the left, just gained advantage of the clean part of the track.
White and black Porsche on the left. Pascal Verline going right around the outside. He got on the dirty stuff and still managed to hold it and get around the outside. That was class from Pascal Verline. Watch again, the white Porsche on the right-hand side, far back. It looks like he's cooked. He keeps it together.
I mean, phenomenal racecraft. And also just looking at where everybody else is positioned around him, not to turn into anybody on board with Mitch Evans and the Jaguar.
You can see the wheel spin from da Costa's rear wheels.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think Mitch Evans didn't want to get tucked in behind. I think we're going already. I think that Jean-Eric Vergne is gone.
Safety car in. Jean-Eric Vergne gets the race back underway here in Jakarta. Through the final corner, out over the line, and down towards the first corner. Evans is pretty close here to the back of da Costa, and I wonder if there's a feeling at Jaguar they need to clear and split one of the DS Cheetahs if they need a chance of winning this race, and not let the Cheetahs just control the pace and control the field.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing he wants to do right now is see Jean-Eric Vergne in the lead disappearing up the road as his teammate Antonio Felix da Costa in the second of the black and gold Cheetahs just to start to hold him and the rest of the pack up a bit. So let's see how aggressive Mitch Evans is going to be. This is turn 7 and both the Cheetahs lock up. Is this an opportunity for Evans? Round the outside.
Big mistake from da Costa. There's contact and Evans is through. Da Costa going in far too hot into turn 7, and the Jaguar driver is now up into second place then. And he will now start to try and attack Jean-Eric Vergne in the lead. It's given Vergne a bit of an advantage. There's some defensive work from Dennis. There's some attacking work, I think, from Verline, trying to get ahead of Van Dorn. Hasn't quite worked out. So there is 3rd, 4th and 5th. Da Costa, Mortara and Dennis. But Jean-Eric Vergne, because of that mistake from da Costa, has got a little bit of breathing room up at the front. Out over the start-finish straight, we come again. Vergne leading in the DS Cheetah, sets the fastest lap of the race. Second is Mitch Evans in the blue and grey Jaguar. Then it's up wide again from da Costa. He's locked up again going into turn 1. De Grazzi is fighting with Lotterer into the first corner, and they go wheel to wheel. Has da Costa held the place? I think he has, kept ahead of Mortara. But another little mistake there. De Grazzi did get ahead of Lotterer into turn 1, so De Grazzi's up into 10th place. Here's da Costa's radio.
Okay, brake balance, try to get back the position as soon as possible if you can.
So Da Costa being told, try changing your brake balance.
And that means moving the balance. I would imagine moving it rearwards. You can adjust how much it brakes to the front and the rear axle of the car. And that will change with the the brake-by-wire system with the electric motors as the race goes on. But right now, he's relying more on the mechanical braking. This is the point of the race. You've got to be really, really patient. And you can see Da Costa just struggling that little bit.
In front of the huge grandstands and around the left-hander of turn 16. 38 minutes plus 1 lap to go. It was interesting, Da Costa was told, get the place back as soon as possible. Robin Freitz activated his attack mode. He's down in 19th place. They come across the line. Vern's lead is just under a second over Mitch Evans in second place. It's half a second back to Da Costa. Da Costa's under a bit more pressure from Mortara than Mortara is the other way around. Turvey's running well in 14th place in the Neo. Freitz is on the attack, getting ahead of Antonio Giovinazzi. But he is in attack mode. 2 attack modes this race. And we'll explain more about that when some of the front runners go through it. And here's a look at Antonio Giovinazzi going side by side with Sergio Senecambra, and a bit of contact, I think, with his teammate there. And sent Giovinazzi spinning. Oh, and then Roland's coming in behind. So that was earlier on. That was a very strange incident. 37 minutes plus 1 lap to go.
I wonder if the angle was just...
I think it just fell off the wheel.
Yeah,
no
I was trying to sort of make excuses, but that is far from ideal. Now, at this moment in time, the car balance, the grip level front to rear, is not going to be perfect because the drivers are going to start with a bit more understeer with the front sliding of the car to try and protect these rear tyres as the race goes on, because if you've got the back sliding already, with putting all that torque down from the electric motor, you're just going to fry the rear tyres over this next 45 minutes plus a lap. So I don't think at any point during this race, Jack, the car is going to feel perfect for any of these drivers.
Pascal Wehrlein's on a bit of a mission here, isn't he? In the Porsche here, right behind Stoffel Van Dorn, the 94 white and black car, qualified in 6th but had a 5-place grid penalty. As we look down on the Beach City Mall and Ancol Beach there to the left-hand side in the heart of Jakarta Bay to the north of the city. But 36 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Vern leading, Evans second, Da Costa third, Mortara fourth, 5th is Dennis. But yeah, it's a 5-place grid drop for Wehrlein, and he's trying to make his way back up the order. Having started in 11th, he's already up to 8th and pressuring the championship leader Stoffel Van Dorn for that 7th position. You can see he's made up 3 places. Evans has gained 1. Gunter and Turvey have made up 3, as has Askew. The big losers, really Lotterer, down 3 places. And obviously Oliver Rowland, who retired through the final corner, out across the line. Evans set the fastest lap of the race last time around. This time through, the gap comes down by another 0.2 of a second. Just 0.7 between Vern in the lead and Evans in second. Now, when we see all the drivers here go to the middle, they're avoiding bumps rather than necessarily defending or attacking. As I say that, Cassidy is attacking, going past Oliver Turvey. Cassidy in attack mode for the Envision team.
Just watching how straight everybody's driving the cars. We saw Da Costa in qualifying showboating just a little bit, sliding the car around. Any of that going on in the race.
There's the usable energy remaining on the left-hand side. Sebastian Buemi marginally less than everybody else, but at the moment it seems most people are aiming for the same point and the same lap count. I think Sam Bird just got past Oliver Turvey down into turn 7, I believe. Yeah, he did. So Bird is up in the 14th place, Turvey down to 15th position. But energy-wise, everybody pretty similar at the moment in these early stages. 34.5 minutes to go. Into attack mode goes Jean-Eric Verne. So Jean-Eric Verne takes attack mode from the lead of the race, comes out in the 2nd place. You get 13% power for an extra 4 minutes. You have to do it twice in the race. Both Fiesta cheaters doing it before anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that 30% advantage to power, but look how much time it cost him to take that. But great thing for Jean-Eric Verne, he did not lose 2 spots. He only lost 1. And I think that puts him in a very strong spot as this race progresses.
Da Costa will soon be trying to get back ahead of the black Venturi of Eduardo Mortara. Some of the teams saying you want to use your attack mode earlier because the battery temperature at the start of the race is lower than at the end. So when you're then using more power and working the battery harder, you want it to come from like a cooler baseline than if you wait towards the end of the race and the battery's hotter, and then you get hotter from a hotter place, you're going to be hotter than if you get hotter from a cooler place.
It's very hot.
I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer.
The other thing to think about, the tyres are in better condition right now than they will be later in the race when they get hotter.
Attack with magic paddle, hard on activation, attack and magic paddle.
That's Mitch Evans activating attack mode. He comes out just behind Eduardo Mortara. So Verne is back in the lead of the E-Prix, and then Mortara is in second, and Evans would have hoped to have come out in front. He might be able to get him here as they come down the start-finish straight. In fact, he's defending a little bit from Da Costa. Da Costa looking to the outside. I thought Evans would be sailing past Mortara then for second place, but actually he's under more pressure from Da Costa behind.
That is... wait till it's the straight bit, I was going to say, but that was the straight bit. And the rest of the lap, you're turning the whole time. So it was surprising that Da Costa didn't have an advantage.
Jake Dennis is activated his attack mode as well. It's first of two. He's running in fifth position fairly solidly. And Buemi is in seventh place, yet to activate his attack mode also. Here's a great shot of those sweeping corners, and then through the right of 11, and then through 12, and down to the hairpin right-hander of turn 13. This tight hairpin leads them out into this final sector. You can see attack modes remaining. Mortara, Van Dorn, Buemi are the front runners who have not activated one of their attack modes yet. Costa's looking racy here, isn't he, behind Evans in the fight for third place?
Yeah, he's come alive, hasn't it? He looked like he was really struggling that early stage of the race, but once he took attack mode, he's in the second black and gold to choose out. He's looking a lot stronger.
He will push for the code on the next lap.
So Mortara in the black Venturi's going to sound like he's going to take attack mode this lap, so he's going to push as hard as he can to grow any possible gap between the pursuing cars.
31 and a half minutes to go. Race leader, Jean-Eric Verne, then Mortara, then Evans, then Da Costa, then Dennis. Those top five right together. And then it's a bit of a gap back to Stoffel Van Dorn, to be honest, in sixth place. And I wonder what's going to happen with him and Nick de Vries, because the two Mercedes are right together on circuit now, after de Vries has activated his attack mode, but Van Dorn has not. But we think Mortara, the second place black Rocket Venturi, is going to activate his attack mode this time around. So keep your eyes on the second place 48 car. We get another great view of this Jakarta circuit, shaped like a horse, and there's a move, and that was Berg going past Cassidy for 12th position.
And this is that sort of settling stage of the Formula.
This will be the last main straight for Da Costa on attack.
That's Evans being told this is the last straight for Da Costa in attack mode, so he's going to attack now or never, and he doesn't do it just here.
No. So yeah, everybody just sort of getting settled now, and then the second half of the race is when it all goes just a little bit bad.
I was halfway through a story earlier, but the track is shaped like a horse, like a hobby horse used in the traditional kuda lumping dance. And that's why if you see it from above, you've sort of got the head on the right-hand side and the tail on the left.
It's quite impressive to see. And it's such a good racetrack as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a real great tradition of Asian racetracks being the shape of something. You think of the Shanghai International Circuit. I think Ordos in China was in the shape of something as well. And it ends up being quite an entertaining track, which is what we're seeing here as we come up into attack mode. Surely Mortara is going to take it this time around. We didn't think he was going to, well, we thought he was going to last time. He doesn't this time either. Interesting. Mortara has traditionally done things a bit differently. Well, Mortara and Venturi, even the last race in Berlin, they did things just a little differently, and you always thought they were a bit out of sequence, but it ended up going quite well for them. Here comes Evans. He's got 10 seconds left of his attack mode. He's going to go for second place here on Mortara. No, not quite.
And you think, why doesn't he just go to the inside? Well, it's so dirty and dusty offline. He's got to be very, very careful doing that. And he's got to limit the energy usage. The car starts the race with not enough energy to finish it. So they've got to not only put energy back into the battery, but they've got to limit the energy they use and how they use it. So the idea behind that is a little bit slower in the straights, but faster in the braking zone and faster in the corner.
Pascal Wehrlein's got ahead of Lucas de Grassi in the fight for 7th place. Mortara's closing in a little on Jean-Eric Verne. And then it is Da Costa in 4th, Dennis in 5th. Van Dorn, Wehrlein, de Grassi, Lotterer and de Vries for the rest of the top 10. So de Vries has got shuffled back here. He's now back behind Buemi. Buemi was a little bit further up the order than that. So de Vries was right behind Van Dorn at one point. So not quite sure what's happened to him. In fact, de Vries' last lap was a 1 minute 12.8. and he's not in attack mode. So, and there goes Van Dorn. Whoa, so loose as he got offline through attack mode. Remarkable.
You think how dirty the track is offline, and attack mode activation zone is offline as well, so well held by Stoffel Van Dorn. That could have ended in tears. Now he's going to close the gap up to Jake Dennis ahead in the red Avalanche Andretti. That's the key strategy on target. Close that gap, use that extra power to make up some track position.
28 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Jean-Eric Verne leading the way. Eduardo Mortara in second place. Third is Mitch Evans. Fourth is Da Costa. Fifth is Jake Dennis. Stoffel Van Dorn is in attack mode here. The championship leader down in 6th position at the moment. So they flash through turns 11 and 12. They're closing in a little on Jean-Eric Verne. Now, is Mortara going to come out behind Dennis here when he activates his attack mode? Because they're all very close together. Mortara doesn't go for it still, but Da Costa does. That's Da Costa's second attack mode, and he's getting them out of the way pretty quickly. Interesting strategy from the DS2G team.
I'm concerned about Mortara's strategy in the Rocky Venturi.
Okay, though we push for green code, it's now push for green code.
Okay. See it just start to spread out a little bit behind him, and if that's the case, then he can attack this lap. It's almost a given he's going to lose a place to Mitch Evans. But it's then, as you say, Jake Dennis doesn't want to lose a place to Da Costa, because Da Costa's got that extra power already of attack mode. You see 3 minutes and 26 seconds left of attack mode.
So as you can see, Da Costa no attack modes left. Mortara both of his. So they come into the S's now, up towards turn 11 and 12. Costa, we'll see whether he can now close in and get ahead of Jake Dennis. Van Dorn is in attack mode too. Verne is currently managing the race fairly well, but Mortara behind him does have an attack mode to use still. Well, 2 attack modes, so he's got 1 more in the bank than Verne, and now Mortara does go into attack mode then. Through the left-hander. Gets out ahead of Dennis, no. So he does come out behind Jake Dennis, down in 5th place, and Da Costa's on the attack. And so Mortara is ahead of Da Costa then. So that's quite important strategically, that he's ahead of Da Costa and has got attack mode for another 3.5 minutes, and has quickly dispatched Jake Dennis into turn 1.
That's absolutely key to Mortara's strategy. Now he's going to close down Mitch Evans ahead of him in the Jaguar. But I thought Mortara was going to lose more than that, Jack. It seems to have worked out very well for the Rocky Venturi team.
So now he will attempt to fly back up to the back of Verne and Evans, who are running in first and second. Da Costa on Dennis. Da Costa through.
Da Costa again with attack mode. Again, there'll be some ebbing and flowing throughout the race.
Okay, we need to push to close the gap on Evans.
So Mortara now being told you've got to close the gap to Evans and Verne ahead.
And Stoffel Van Dorn passing Jake Dennis as well. Jake Dennis in a bit of trouble, it looks like. Yeah, there'll be some ebbing and flowing as the balance of the car shifts as a leader. Jean-Eric Verne takes attack mode as well. Mitch Evans back to the head of the race.
So that's Verne's second attack mode, and Mitch Evans is now in the lead of the race. So Evans leads, but he's still got an attack mode to take. Verne in second does not. Mortara in third does. Da Costa in fourth does not. Van Dorn in 5th does. So interesting with these Formula E races to know what way it's going to go and what way it's going to work out.
Yeah, what we don't know right now, again, is battery temperature, how much the guys can regenerate, how much energy they can put into the battery without overheating the battery. It's like your phone, when you charge your phone up, you do it quickly, it heats up even more. So you see Jean-Eric Verne all over the back already of Mitch Evans.
24 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Evans, Verne, Mortara, Da Costa, Van Dorn. The same 4 again. Down into the hairpin of turn 13.
Jean-Eric Verne had a snap of oversteer as he came out of turn 12. I thought he was going to make an attempt into 13, but he just got that snap of oversteer that cost him the distance to the car in front.
Does Evans go for it this time? He does not. Mortara is still in attack mode. There into attack mode go the 2 Porsches, Verline and Lotterer from 7th and 9th, respectively. energy remaining. Jean-Eric Vergne has a little less than those around him. He and Da Costa have a little less, but there's pretty much nothing in it. And here comes Vergne for the lead of the race. Into turn 1, and Jean-Eric Vergne takes the lead. Evans, I thought, was going to try and get the cut back into turn 2, but it wasn't to be. But Evans still has an attack mode to use.
Yeah, that would have been a brave move, Jack. Turns 1, 2 and 3 really going to one long corner. And Mitch Evans just discretion being the better part of valor right there.
Vergne, Evans, Da Costa, Van Dorn and De Vries are the 5 drivers with fan boost. So they will get a 5-second power boost in the second half of the race. So 4 of the front 5 receiving the fan boost vote. Right up to the wall, down into turn 13. So Evans, has he got enough of a gap to go for it now in the Jaguar in second place? Let's have a look.
Nope.
No, not this time.
I was going to say, does he wait until Mortara runs out of attack mode behind him? As we see Stoffel Van Dorn, the Mercedes, take it. Lucas Di Grassi in the second of the Black Rocket Venturis as well.
And he comes out just in front of Andre Lotterer, who they were fighting earlier on. Now Van Dorn tried to take attack mode, but missed it. Missed attack mode, Stoffel Van Dorn, so that has cost him a good few seconds, and maybe has knocked him out of the lead battle. So that's really frustrating for Stoffel Van Dorn. Eduardo Mortara is now out of his first attack mode. Jean-Eric Vergne leading. He's in attack mode for another minute. Evans has another one. Mortara has another one. And I think it's those kind of 4 for the win. I don't think Jake Dennis in 5th place is going to be able to make much progress.
Yeah, Jake Dennis in the red Andretti, he looks like he's on more of an offensive posture right now than attacking.
There is Dennis, just ahead of Stoffel Van Dorn. We'll see if Van Dorn goes for it again into attack mode here. None of the top 4 do.
Confirm attack, confirm attack.
Van Dorn goes for it again and activates it this time around. So he is now in 6th position. 7th position, make that. Vergne gains another place, so he's been up 5 places so far in the course of this E-Prix. Vergne's lead is looking fairly comfortable as they come down into turn 1. Jean-Eric Vergne now runs out of fan boost. That's Stoffel Van Dorn missing the attack mode activation, frustratingly for him.
Yeah, very frustrating. We've seen it happen so many times, Jack. The margin for error is very limited, and obviously the driver's trying to carry as much speed as possible to lose the minimum amount of positions as they go through attack mode. Again, Jake Dennis, look, he's got Pascal Wehrlein behind him in the Porsche. He's just not happy, it looks like, with the balance, with the speed of the car, as we get 25 minutes into this race.
Vergne's having a great race. Really impressive.
Very methodical, isn't he? Yeah, super methodical. Still got attack mode, and he'll be looking to, as Jake Dennis goes to attack mode now, and that saves Pascal Wehrlein having to pass him now. Wehrlein's got a clear track to Antonio Felix da Costa, who's just up the road from him.
20 minutes plus 1 lap to go as Vergne comes across the line. Turn 1, here with 20 minutes plus a lap to go in the Jakarta E-Prix, round 9 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. Myself, Jack Nicholls and Dario Franchitti with you as we watch these electric cars racing around the streets of the Indonesian capital. And Jean-Eric Vergne is leading at the moment by about a second, looking comfortable enough, but Mitch Evans behind him has another attack mode to use in the Jaguar, as does Eduardo Mortara, who's 3rd at the moment in the Black Rocket Venturi car.
Just watching Jake Dennis, just looks like he's not happy with the balance, Jack. The front of the car is sliding on the way through the middle of the corner, and the back snaps round on exit. So yeah, just a lack of grip, and you can see even with attack mode, he's going backwards.
Top 4 running fairly comfortably now, clear of the rest of the field. And there is the rest of the field, all behind Pascal Wehrlein in 5th place. There come the leaders across the line again. So Vergne in the lead, Mitch Evans in 2nd, Mortara in 3rd, Da Costa in 4th. And here's a look from Van Dorn on Wehrlein. Silver Mercedes EQ gets through. So that is 5th place for Van Dorn. He's in attack mode, so he's got extra power and gets ahead of the Porsche man. You can see the rear view from Jean-Eric Vergne up in the tower in the top left. That's looking back at Evans trying to chase him down.
And Evans closed the gap a couple of tenths that lap. If he can keep that up, he's going to be on the back wing of the black and gold Techeetah pretty soon. Cars sliding as they come through turn 12, just actually turn 11 into 12. Just the grip of the car, they're really on top of the circuit. And looking for every part, every little piece of grip they can find out there.
Leaders again coming through turn 16. No one going for attack mode still. Well, Vergne and Da Costa can't because they've used their 2 allocated chunks of 4 minutes. Evans and Mortara have, and are they just trying to wait for each other to decide when to do it? Who's going to blink first, perhaps?
And Evans moved the gap up again, 3 tenths on Mortara that lap, so he's just trying to edge away so they can take a second attack mode without losing position. Jake Dennis defending from Pascal Wehrlein in the Porsche.
Yeah, I think he was getting ahead actually because he just took attack mode, so he's got ahead. Evans and Mortara, look, are the only 2 in the field with 1 attack mode to go, so they're doing it very differently.
You can hear the tyres locking on the brakes. They try to sort of, not only brake, but to try and regenerate, put some energy back into the battery, but it shows you how little grip there is out there. I think the words of the day are grip and heat.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that will sort of become more and more apparent towards the end of the E-Prix.
We can arm fan boost, we can arm fan boost.
So Van Dorn being told we can arm fan boost. He's running in 5th place at the moment, but he will probably use it to defend from Jake Dennis, because Dennis is going to have attack mode down this main start straight. I don't know if he's close enough, in all honesty, so keep your eyes on 5th and 6th place here across the line. Does Van Dorn even fire it? I don't think he does, because there's no real need. Dennis is not close enough coming into turn 1, so Van Dorn doesn't use fan boost this time around in the number 5 Mercedes EQ. 16 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Dennis is now out of attack mode, so it's all now about when Evans and Mortara will activate their attack mode and how much progress they can make when they do so.
The bad news for Evans is Adrian Mortara caught him back those 3 tenths that lap, so the gap is the same again. And if he's going to take attack mode, he's probably going to lose certainly 1 spot, possibly 2.
Cars flashing through that sequence of corners at 8, 9 and 10. Vergne and Mortara having a little bit less energy available than Mitch Evans. Evans is looking quite strong for energy at the moment, not massively so. And there goes Mortara into attack mode. His second attack mode, he's got 4 minutes where he'll have more power than the rest of the cars ahead of him, but he's dropped down into 4th place as a result.
Let's use some energy, ENO plus 004.
And Josep Roca, Evans' engineer, has just seen those energy stats that we put up and has decided, right, we can afford to use a bit more energy because the teams only get to see the other car's energy when we show them.
I think we're trying to do 2 things there. We're trying to open up the gap from Da Costa and obviously close down the gap to Vergne before he takes that second attack mode. And he's going to try and get into the lead of the race with that extra power, and then having track position, either drive away or hold up Jean-Eric Vergne behind him. That's the plan.
Easy.
Yeah, theoretically, but it won.
And has Evans now got a gap to activate his attack mode? There's a look at those drivers who have fan boost still. I think Evans might be quite close to a gap here to come out in front of Da Costa potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be doing it right now, Jack. I think he's far enough ahead. Let's see what he does.
We push and attack, no magic paddle, push and attack.
Through goes Evans, activates attack mode. And that's what it means to James Barclay as Evans emerges second in the race, crucially still ahead of Antonio Felix da Costa. And now he's going to start the charge to try and close in on Jean-Eric Vergne. But here comes da Costa on fan boost. He's having to defend here from Eduardo Mortara. And Mortara can't make it through.
I think Mortara gave him a little shove in the braking zone as he moved across the front of him. That's massive for Mitch Evans to hold position and see how much he can close that gap now down to Jean-Eric Vergne, the leader of the race. He's 1.7 seconds behind, but he gained 0.3 of a second through the first sector.
He's going to be up on the back of it before too long. Less Less than 14 minutes plus a lap to go in this fascinating Jakarta E-Prix so far. Here's Evans' radio.
Da Costa is holding Mortara back. We could magic paddle.
Costa is holding Mortara back, so we could magic paddle, is the message to Evans. I'm not 100% sure what the magic paddle is, to be honest.
Me neither. I'd be guessing right now. Which has never stopped me before.
Yeah.
Just watching Mortara's car, looks like he's got a slightly better balance, but he's also got a load that's got an extra 13% of power, which always makes the car handle a little bit better when it goes quicker in the straight line. Here he comes. And there's no holding him back, I'd say, right now from Antonio Felix da Costa.
Mortara gets through in the Venturi ahead of the DS Techeetah of da Costa. So one DS Techeetah leading the way, the other down in 4th place with Evans and Mortara in 2nd and 3rd. There's Evans, there's Mortara with da Costa right behind. Now Evans on that last lap only closed in about half a second to Jean-Eric Vergne, the race leader.
But again, he's got to look after everything. You can't just close the gap in one go. You use too much energy, you use too much of the tyre, so you've just got to be a little bit careful as you see him coming through turns 11, 12, skimming the walls. A little bit of lifting coast, braking into 13. Neat and tidy. Mitch Evans got such a smooth driving style.
Only taken 3/10 out of Vergne on this lap so far. In fact, sorry, only 2/10 so far. Into the final corner, and we'll get a look at the gap between them. It was 1.3 seconds. And in terms of energy, Mortara has a little more, but everybody is about the same in that front 4. So it's just about Evans using the next lap to try and catch up to the back of Jean-Eric Vergne. And paper bag or something, I don't think it's bodywork, or it might be some of the advertising from around the side of the circuit, but that has gone flying in the air.
Just watching Jake Dennis there in the Avalanche Andretti car, the red car on camera, the car sliding a lot more than those around him, the back end of the car sliding a lot more, so it looks like it's using its tyres harder. And this next 11 minutes plus 1 lap are going to be nice, I think, for Jake Dennis.
Here's a replay of Dennis getting overtaken by Pascal Wehrlein into turn 1. Wehrlein gets the move done. Although Dennis, yeah, okay, he did send it back. Got the cut back into turn 2 and 3. Very nice move from Dennis.
That would explain why he's sliding around. He's been offline. Nice move. Every time I say Jake Dennis is doing something wrong, he's actually doing something really right. So, sorry, Jake.
Here comes Evans down towards the first corner. I think he's a little too far back to attack Jean-Eric Vergne.
You saw him slide off the last corner.
Nose to tail for the lead. Vergne ahead of Evans. And Evans has caught up to the back of him now, so it's just a pure race from here on in. And it's between Vergne and Evans for the win in the Jakarta E-Prix. They've both got fan boost available as well. And we're on board with Evans now, fighting for the win and fighting for the top positions in the championship, because Evans has 83 points, Vergne has 98. So a win here would be huge for Evans' championship challenge. Stoffel Vandoorne, the championship leader, in 5th at the moment.
They've got the same energy, but just watching Mitch Evans' steering wheel, he's not fighting the back of the car, so the balance of the Jaguar looks really good right now. They haven't really been on board with Jean-Eric Vergne, but the Jaguar looking strong. You've got to watch the body language of the car, it's not sliding, and look how much time he gained into turn 18.
Across the line comes Jean-Eric Vergne, and as it stands, he would take the lead of the championship by 2 points ahead of Stoffel Vandoorne. Mortara would drop down to 3rd. Evans would be in 4th, so this is big. This would give Jean-Eric Vergne the championship lead if things stay like this. Lucas Di Grassi, meanwhile, has been fighting with Pascal Wehrlein. Wehrlein used his fan boost a moment ago, and just a little biff between the Venturi and the Porsche driver. But this is the fight for the lead of the race, but also in some ways the championship, because Vandoorne is down in 5th position. We're starting the second half of the season. After this race, we are going to Marrakesh, and then a couple of races in New York and London and South Korea. And Vergne and Evans Evans are right together for the lead. The 32-year-old Frenchman, the Parisian, up against the young New Zealander in the Jaguar.
Jean-Eric Vergne in the black and gold Techeetah, double champion, looking in his mirrors as he went down the straight. You could see him looking, it's like, where is Mitch Evans in the Jaguar? So he's feeling the pressure already. And Mitch Evans, if he's feeling that a little bit quicker, he's going to be thinking, okay, where can I make the move? Where's my advantage? Where can I make it count?
The Techeetah team there on the inset on the right-hand side. As we go left, back out with the Beach City Mall on the right. Pushing so hard, so on the limit here, and even when Vergne was trying to get that stopped for turn 7, it looked right on the edge.
Absolutely right, Jack, and as much as I've talked about the Jaguar looking good at second place, I've got to say the DS Techeetah in the lead looks equally as well balanced.
Mortara dropping away a little in third place, the Swiss racer, and then actually Van Dorn is getting back at the Costa. Into the pits, Nick de Vries. Nick de Vries in the pit lane and seemingly out of the running. Here he comes now.
Got a flat left rear tyre.
Yeah, correct. Rear left puncture for de Vries. But his teammate is up in 5th place. I think this will signal the end of de Vries' championship chances. But 7 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Vergne leading, Evans right behind him. This is great. As far as energy is concerned, it's been pretty close for the whole of the race, and it still is.
Look at it.
I've never seen it this close for a whole E-Prix. Giovinazzi's doing something a bit different. But it's Evans to the inside. Evans attacks into turn 7 and takes the lead of the Jakarta E-Prix.
Where did that come from?
Good job, mate. Good job.
I don't think Vergne saw that coming either. And can Vergne now fight back? The crowd are on their feet.
I'm glad it wasn't just us, Jack. That came from nowhere. Mitch Evans in the Jaguar. Was there a mistake by Jean-Eric Vergne in the corner before? Let's see, has he got the speed to fight back?
Evans getting a huge round of applause as he comes around the stadium section at turn 16, because he is now leading in Jakarta and trying to get his championship challenge properly back on track. It would be his 3rd win of the season. The first driver to achieve that. We've got 6 minutes plus a lap to go, and there's half a second between Evans and Vergne. Can the DS Techeetah of Jean-Eric Vergne, the 2-time champion, do anything to respond? If it finishes like this, Van Dorn holds the championship lead, and Vergne is up into 2nd place. And this was how Mitch Evans did it. Sent it to the inside and got it done on the brakes, and nothing Vergne could do.
So impressive because it is so dirty off light. And look how bumpy it is too. Yeah, as you say, Jack, got it stopped, got the car rotated. Fantastic stuff.
Evans leading the way now. Jean-Eric Vergne down to 2nd place. Jean-Eric Vergne has slightly less usable energy as well than Mitch Evans too. So things are looking pretty good for the Jaguar driver out in front now. 5 minutes plus a lap to go.
Bad news for Vergne as Mortara is coming along too in the Rocket Venturi. He's just closing the gap to the car in front. You see him, the 3rd car in view.
Onto the brakes into the first corner. Less than 5 minutes plus a lap to go. We will get the added time in a couple of moments too. So there will be a little longer because we had that safety car at the start. But here comes Evans, then comes Vergne, then comes Mortara, then comes Da Costa and Van Dorn right together. Van Dorn in 5th position in the Mercedes EQ, trying to put pressure on Antonio Felix Da Costa. Didn't look that strong in the early phases of this race, Stoffel Van Dorn, but he's coming back on strong now. Down into turn 7 we go. With 4 minutes plus a lap to go, we're on board with Stoffel Van Dorn in driver's eye, running in 5th place, trying to get ahead of Antonio Felix Da Costa.
And this camera right next to the driver's left eye. Fantastic view. This is exactly what the driver sees. You can see the driver can't actually see the nose of the car, how far it extends, so when they hit the car in front, it's a good excuse. You see him grabbing some oversteer. controlling the slide from the back of the car as he comes through turn 17 into the final corner. He looks strong at this point. I think Stoffel Van Dorn looking to line up Antonio Felix da Costa. He uses fan boost.
Van Dorn on the attack for 4th position. Da Costa covers the inside. Van Dorn to the outside. Nothing he can do, even with the fan boost. Can't get the cutback either. And Da Costa holds the place for the time being. We saw there that there'll be a minute and a half of added time. So when this 3 minutes and 20 gets to 0, it'll then go back up to a minute 30. And then there'll be a minute 30 plus 1 lap remaining. Van Dorn not able to get ahead of Da Costa in the fight for 4th position. Evans, Byrne, Mortara for the lead. And then Da Costa, Van Dorn for 4th place. Jake Dennis still running in 6th position. Evans and Byrne still have an attack mode to go.
Jeff might use fan boost on the main straight.
As Evans being told that Byrne might use fan boost on the main straight, which they're coming up to in a few moments' time. A couple of corners. And on the run down towards turn 1, is Jean-Eric Byrne going to be close enough? Doesn't look like it, to be perfectly honest, but 2.5 minutes plus a lap to go. He's running out of time to try and use it. Byrne does. Byrne is on fan boost. But he's not close enough.
No, absolutely not, Jack. And you've got to have a big advantage to be able to pass on the brakes into one. You can get them on the straight line speed down the straight, but into turn 1, it's a tough one. But Byrne right there, the slightest mistake from Mitch Evans in the Jaguar leading the race, and Jean-Eric Byrne will pounce.
We have seen those errors before. Evans running really well in New York at the end of the last year before tapping the wall, but it's Byrne who makes the error. Big lock-up on the left front. How much ground has he lost? None. He's right there. We're on board with the Frenchman. If it finishes like this, he moves into 2nd in the championship. If he wins the race, he moves into the lead of the championship. But Eduardo Mortara in the Rocket Venturi has caught them as well. The 2nd place man in the standings has joined this fight.
3-way battle for the lead. Who blinks first?
Between 3 of the top 4 in the championship. Out onto the start straight again. A minute 20 plus a lap to go. Plus the added time. You just wonder, is Verne biding his time? The energy still all the same. Have a look and see which one dips down to 8% first, and that will give you an idea of who has a tiny bit less. And well, Evans and Verne ticked over.
They're almost identically. That's incredible. They're all on exactly the same energy level.
5-second time penalty for Andre Lotterer. Caused a collision with Nick De Vries. That'll be why De Vries ended up with a puncture and in the pits for a new tyre.
Again, these guys carry the maximum amount of speed. You want to save energy, carry as much speed as you can when you're off throttle, and it's easy to make a mistake in those situations. Jean-Eric Byrne absolutely stalking Mitch Evans in the lead.
Through 16, you can see the dark clouds coming as one of Jakarta's traditional storms appears to be on the way, a little too late to affect the race. On what is turning into a beautiful evening and a very entertaining first ever Jakarta E3. Across the line we come then, and the added time is about to get added on now. And so the added time of 1 minute 30 plus 1 lap to go. Mortara is being told he's got more energy than the drivers in front, and that could give him a chance to gain 1 place.
That's what you want to hear as a driver. Just gives you that impetus, just keep attacking, and you know the 2 ahead of you are in trouble.
We're going to have 2 to go at the end of this one, so 2.5 laps remaining by my calculations. So they're going to be a bit tight on energy here.
And you saw Verne go down to 5% and back up to 6 as he put some energy back into the battery. Watch them again into 13. See if it goes back up to 6%. This is going to be tight, Jack. The only other way they can do it is by slowing down over this lap to shorten the race distance, but I don't think so. I wouldn't be doing it with Jean-Eric Byrne right behind me on my gearbox.
Byrne is on the charge now. Coming into turn 18, the right-hander, and this will be the start of the penultimate lap of the race. This is going to be really tight. Byrne has a little bit less energy, and Byrne's going for the lead here. Down towards turn 1, Evans covers the inside.
But now he's got dirt on his tyres, Jack. Can't overdo it through turn 1.
Gets out of shape. Evans got out of shape. Verne is all over the back of him. Bump.
And Evans is just out of position ever so slightly at every corner.
But he got a little bit of a good run coming through 4. This is the view back from Evans.
I'm struggling with the rears.
Evans under
2
big
laps,
attack.
2 laps, mate.
2 laps to go. Evans saying, I'm struggling with the rear tyres.
Watching about 3 corners time. Let's see if Jean-Eric Verne sends one down the inside into turn 13. Coming up.
1 lap to go at the end of this one.
Yeah, here comes Verne. No, nothing doing.
And Mortara is right in the fight as well. This is going to be so tight on the final lap of the Jakarta E-Prix. We've got 3 for the win.
You see the wide line from Evans trying to keep the momentum up through these long sweeping corners.
Mortara has more energy than the pair of them. Bit of a twitch from Jean-Eric Verne. Look how close Mortara is now. Final lap of the race coming up. And we've got 3 for the win in the Jakarta E-Prix.
Okay, last lap we're more soft than the other.
Ouais, je sais.
Mortara to the outside in the turn 1. Evans is just doing enough. Verne's in big energy trouble here. He's got 1%. Evans and Mortara have 2%. Verne is going to struggle to finish second here, surely. They're coming down into the left-hander of 7. They're both, Evans and Verne, covering the inside defensively. Can Mortara find a way through? There's only really 2 more overtaking opportunities. And the first one is coming up into turn 13.
Through 12, this is the run up to 13 now. No, he lifts really early, Mitch Evans. Verne defending like crazy. So Evans put the energy back into the battery, back up to 1%.
It's a long run to the line as well, so they may have to lift off here, Jean-Eric Verne, earlier than Mortara. Mortara tries to get through. Verne's out of shape. Evans is surely going to hold on. I think Verne is going to run out of energy here. He covers the inside again. It's going to be right together for second place. But Mitch Evans in the Jaguar has driven a superb race, and Mitch Evans wins in Jakarta.
Come on, come on, come on!
Verne holds on to second place at the line by 0.2 of a second. That's what it means to the Jaguar team and James Barclay. And Mitch Evans takes his 3rd win of the season.
Let's have a chat to Mitch Evans.
That was hard to manage. Woo! Nice work, guys. Nice work. You gave me the car that we needed. Thank you. Thank you.
Mitch is Dario on TV. Congratulations. That was an incredible drive.
Thanks, mate. I'm hot. I'm seriously one of the